All right, great. So we have a lot of people joining, about 57 now. There are about 100, how many people? 115 people RSVP'd. So if we have more than like 50%, I think that's pretty good. Travis, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for supporting. We have Ferris here as well, so thank you, Ferris. All right, cool. I'm attending on behalf of my son, Eric. Okay, she's unable to join. This is actually info session for parents and for students alike. So if your parents, great, you're here. And if you are, for example, a student, you don't have your parents here, probably grab them, okay? All right. Okay. Good, Alex, good, awesome. All right, cool. All right, so first of all, I wanted to say, how are you guys today? Today's Saturday, how are you guys? Pat has a great day, that's awesome. Yanni's good, good. Jackson, good. All right, Samuel, good. You know, I was actually gonna go for a session where I'm just gonna present, you know, what's the, you know, guided internship is, but I felt like that would be such a boring conversation to have. So I'm gonna run this risk, okay? I've never really hosted a session where we have 60 something people and it's gonna be interactive. This can be a disaster, right? This can be a disaster. But you know what? I care more about the conversations than whatever information I'm gonna present to you. So one of the things I kind of wanted to learn is that, so you guys went through our summer camp, right? And that's why you're here for the next, you know, step. I kind of want to hear a little bit about what are the surprising things as you go through the camp. What are the surprising things you discovered, either about yourself, about AI, okay, as you go through this. I'm looking for volunteers, right? If you want to talk about that, turn on your camera, raise your hand, right? And we can talk about that, okay? Anyone want to do that? You can raise your hand as well, okay? Doesn't matter. Any surprising things you learned? Anyone? How simple machine learning is? Wow, that's pretty cool. No one want to talk about it? Really? Everybody's scared about talking to a group of people? All right, Jackson, go ahead.
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, the whole class is set up in a way where, like, I feel like for me personally, I totally learned how to learn all this stuff on my own.
Yeah.
So awesome. I don't know. I thought that was really cool.
And you were able to learn that on your own, right?
Yeah. No, I feel like it totally set me up towards, I guess, like navigating like a lot of things, programming and AI. Yeah,
that's awesome. Look, you are only going to spend limited time with us because it's just costly to pay people's wages, right? The 3-week program is only 3 weeks. The guided internship is only 10 weeks, right? But what you really can learn, if you learn about how to learn on your own, learn with a group of people, that's a really valuable skill, right? So, you know, you probably never saw a school which is like trying to push you out, but we're basically trying to push you out, okay? Look, how about you? What do you learn? What's surprising about it?
How helpful I was able to be, even if I had like a little grasp of Python, because I'm still starting out.
So you saw the power of knowing some of that knowledge. Yeah. Okay. Adam, what about you, Adam?
I think AI, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think AI is just like really revolutionary, very cool.
And you're able to understand it. Can you talk a bit about it? What does it mean for our future, man?
Well, I think it's like definitely going to be like good for like school. People can learn with AI.
Right. Okay. Mayla, is that how I pronounce your name? I'm sorry if I did it wrong. Can you talk about your experiences?
Yeah, my name is Mayla, but it's okay.
Mayla.
Yeah, right. So I think that I was really surprised with how quickly we were able to come up with this project.
Yeah.
Like how that, like, it was fast paced, but it wasn't hard. Like, it was very nice to have instructors to help us one-on-one all the time. And even if we were a little bit confused, we always like got to like understand it. And even though it was really a short amount of time, we still got the grasp of everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Can we give all the people who spoke so far a round of applause? Thank you for sharing your experiences. Okay, awesome. Christina, you're my student. So, how's your experience, man?
It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. It was pretty good. I was surprised by how versatile AI can be. I wasn't really expecting that AI was able to do music already.
Right, you can do music already. Yeah.
And it's like Sandbox. I'm surprised by how much we actually managed to get done. We put in multiple models into it.
Yeah. What did you create during that Sandbox period of time?
Oh, we made both a movie recommender and like a bot that could predict how much a movie will make. Prediction is probably a bit off, quite a bit, but yeah, pretty interesting.
Got it. Now I wanted to invite maybe one or two parents to talk about maybe you saw some transformation or behavior changes with your kid. I mean, right now we only have students spoken, any parents would be open to share your experience? Anyone? Yeah, Yanni, go ahead. Yanni?
Oh, I definitely saw the motivation. Getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning on summer.
It doesn't happen.
He was
That's
definitely
awesome.
motivated, and every day he was. Did you learn something new? Oh yeah, and he would talk.
He's a great student. I taught him in my Sandbox. He's just very vocal, doing a lot of good things. Very, very awesome. Yeah. All right. What about for Holly?
So I learned, I saw Luke very enthusiastic and he was very eager to learn. He picked up on, he already had the concepts, but he picked up on it a lot faster than he did in a regular school year.
We're like probably 10 times faster than traditional school, because traditional school, I don't want to talk down about school because school has this responsibility, like being also childcare. I would say, like I am a parent, I can, for example, do much when my kid at home, for example, right? So school is setting up in a way that it's basically teaching you knowledge A to Z. They don't really care about whether it's going to be useful or not. But for us, we need you to make a product, and we can only have limited time. So we do the best that we possibly can, right, for you to learn about these things. I also think, learning is changing. Okay, Pat, you raise your hand. Can you talk about it, sir? I can't hear you. I don't know why. I can't hear you, even though you're unmuted.
You're on mute.
Check your settings. Can't hear you. Yeah, sorry about that. Maybe just type what you want to say in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Any other parents want to share your experience? Travis, can you talk about it?
Yeah. So I'm not a parent. I was actually an instructor. I can already see at least one of my students in the call, Alex. I was blown away with how much we were able to accomplish. We went from everyone had a sort of general understanding of Python to deploying a website, designing an app, and building like a full interface and working API to do depth detection. So we could take our phone and basically estimate what furniture was in front of you, how far away it was, and whether you need to move or you're going to run into it. And like, it was absolutely insane how much work and how productive everyone was. Everyone was putting in time after class. I was so touched because they really engaged. They had a ton of fun. They were messaging me at like 10 at night in the Discord channel, like, hey, look what I just did. Alex did that multiple times and he pulled off some crazy things.
Hey, if students are messaging you at 10 p.m., you saw it, that means you are working at 10 p.m. Can we give our instructors a round of applause? Give our instructor a round of applause. Give our our camp operator Blake and Sushi a round of applause. Let me just say the following: I'm nothing without the team. I'm nothing without parents and students. So thank you so much, for the trust that you place, in us. That's really, really awesome. Pat, were you able to fix your audio?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
yes.
wonderful. Okay, we're set to this Oculus.
Yeah.
I've been in the IT industry since 1989. I've been working with Oracle and a lot of things like that since then. The things that I heard Ryan come back and tell me he was working on impressed me because it was real world things that he could apply. I'm impressed across the board. There's a lot of things that are in here that are relevant to what's going to be happening in the real world. And people are slow. Big organizations are slow to embrace AI, but this is the perfect class for folks to, embrace what it will be used for in the next upcoming. It's going to be months because that's how it works. Technology outdates itself every 3 years, and you're on the cutting edge. And this is wonderful. And as he said, was just very impressive from someone who's been doing this for 34 years.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Well said. Can we give a can we give Pat a round of applause? Thank you for saying what you said.
Thank you.
Okay, we may have already deviated from my script too much, but you know what? So be it. Let's actually have another conversation. Do you guys want to know why I founded AI Camp? Do you guys care about that story? Do you guys want to hear about it? Yeah. So it started actually back when I was a PhD student at Stanford. Once I got that PhD, I thought I was so arrogant. I was like, I'm going to be ready for the real world, whatnot. But then, once I graduated from Stanford, I moved off the campus and I started hunting for a job. And I found myself almost like a chicken without head, like running around. And I don't know exactly what's out there. I even applied for like management consultant jobs, applied for software engineering jobs. And I remember at the time, that was actually a very difficult period of my time because it was a time where I graduated from Stanford. I don't belong to the university anymore. My friends are moving away. I tried to found a startup. It didn't really go well. I had to say bye to my co-founders. And my wife actually married, when I was a grad student, I met her at Stanford. And she had to go back to Singapore to fulfill her basically requirement to serve the government because her education was funded by the government. So I was living in this condo in Sunnyvale. And together with me, there's a roommate, and he works for Google. I don't know about your guys' experiences. I have really not met too many people who are happy at Google for some reason. And this guy, he basically like goes to work around like 11 o'clock in the morning, and then he would come back at home at 4 p.m. So just 5 hours or so, right, at the school, at the company. And I don't want him, for example, see me at home, because I felt it's embarrassing. I'm like, Stanford PhD, I achieved this and that. And all of a sudden I got no one to talk to, I wasn't really belong anywhere and whatnot. And I had to essentially go to, for example, public library, Sunnyvale Public Library at 4 p.m. just to avoid the kind of situation to see him at home. And would come back a little bit later to appear to be very busy. All right. That was a sad story for me. And the whole reason why I'm doing AI Camp is I think schools can do a lot better to help you guys to guide your future. I don't want any one of you to experience the same thing that I felt. And then I have a lot of parents here, right? So I don't know how you felt about the time when you just graduate school. I bet that's also a very confusing period of time for you as well. So the whole reason why we take our students, right, to go through this process of creating a product, right, is for you to really figure out, to create a product, I need to design it. I need to get the front end going. I need to get the back end going. I need to get the AI working, right? I need to organize people to get that together. So inevitably, you're becoming a product manager, a designer, a front engineer, a back end engineer, a machine learning engineer. So your job at AI Camp is not done yet, even though you created a product. You need to start thinking about, during that process, what did I like? What did I didn't like? Do I like working with the people? Or maybe I don't like working with people. Those are the things you need to think deeper and try to explore this a little bit more. Was that too much? It kind of killed the happiness of this call and not become this too serious kind of call? Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Oh my, that was good, man. That was
That
great.
was good. All right, thank you for encouragement. Okay, now here's the thing. Here's the thing. We have tried to do guided internship for the past 2 or 3 years. It was the brainchild of Alex Duffy and myself. And I would say that is the program that adhere to AI camp philosophy the most. So what is the guided internship program? So you know what? Let me go back to the script. I'm going to share my screen, okay? But again, at AI camp, there are no stupid questions, right? So if you have a question, let me know. You Pile, do you have a question? You raised your hand. Okay, that's okay. So I'm going to share my screen. If you can see my screen, let me know. Give me a thumbs up, please. Awesome. Love you guys. All right, cool. So, this is kind of like repeated, congrats for your summer. I don't need to say that anymore. We have lots of students created very interesting projects throughout. And, if you haven't yet, do us a favor, go to Trustpilot, give us a review, right? Whether it's good or it's bad, we want to hear about it. This is for something maybe parents you don't know. Every single day, we actually send a message, to our students, asking them about their experiences every single day, and they can write about their experience. And typically, the last day it's both a like happy and sad kind of day. Do you guys feel it's sad? It's like, oh my gosh, I just created this whole thing. Now I have to say bye to my friends. This is such a cruel kind of world, right? But rest assured, you're going to build more with your friends. Okay. Now, AI camp, what we try to do, we want to bridge the gap between our schools and our industry, okay? And these programs, they go all the way from introducing you what AI is, how to use it, to all the way, right, to become an engineer, in your AI company. And you will get paid by doing that, okay? That's all the way we're going to do this. And last year, we taught about 1,200 students. This year, we're in a little bit of trouble because the economy is this year is kind of weird. AI is at full force. It's like AI is going to take over the world. And then the parents is like, I got no money. So basically that's essentially the gist right now. Yeah. Hold on. More people joining. I'm going to make sure I manage that. What we stand for, however, is we only have 2 principles at AI camp. One is opening doors. Second is student first. So when we, for example, encounter any situation where we have to make a decision, and that's going to be very difficult for us, student first is the principle we're going to adhere to. So I just talked about why it is important to actually work with companies, because only by doing so, what kind of jobs are out there, what kind of skills you can learn, and then you can build a network that help you, right, with introductions, etc. And you may be, saying this, hey, Michael, I'm only 16-year-old. Maybe like I'm only 13-year-old. Why do I care about a job? Isn't that something like my parent can care about? I don't need to care about that. What do you guys think? Should you care about this? What do you think?
I think if I had the opportunity, knowing that I wanted to go in the IT field at 13 to 15 years old,
Yeah.
I'd jump on it, because you cannot get a job in the IT field without experience.
Right. You need to have experience. You need to have things they can show for. Holly, well said. Well said. Okay. I'm not going to try to give you a heart attack, but I'm going to show you something else as well. Okay. Bear with me. We know this is a huge problem. The problem is going to be here no matter whether I talk about it or I don't talk about it. Colleges are very expensive, and it's only getting more and more expensive. If we are talking about, for example, Boston University, the cost of attendance is $89,000 if you're living on campus. Imagine if you have no aid, $89,000 multiplied by 4, $300 something thousand. That's a lot of money. And our government is perfectly fine. Loan a 17, 18-year-old who never proven themselves, right? And get into debt. They don't even understand what does that mean. On top of it, right? Our current regulation is that you cannot shed that debt off even though you declare bankruptcy. Do I had a student loan when I went to Stanford? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I was doing a startup. I ran out of money. I took out a student loan to support myself. Fortunately, it's just a few $1,000s, right? And I was supported by Caltech, you know, with scholarship or not. I never had a student loan for my undergrad degree. I was fortunate. Yeah, but this is something I would teach our students to avoid. And how do we do that? Well, by really careful planning. What are you going to do in college, right? Planning where you're going to go, planning where the aid is, planning, for example, having experiences at working at different companies so that you would go to college, you would choose a major that would truly benefit for your life a little bit later on. I really hope you don't classify us as the summer camp company, right? We're not that, right? We're trying to bridge the gap between the schools and the industry. We're trying to make higher education work for families. Our dream later on is provide all the universities a work and learn model, and hopefully reduce the cost so that you don't have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for knowledge that you can get online for free. So what is our team tomorrow, right? What is our team tomorrow? Why this matters? We basically have our best students. This is Rohan, for example. I met him when he's 13. He's writing neural networks. Right now, he's at Imprint, raised like $50 million. And that company is basically providing financial infrastructure for other companies. And Rohan is there as an infrastructure engineer, 16-year-old. So compare his journey, right? He's 16-year-old. By the time he's 22, he would have actually 7 years experience. Holly, he would have 7 years experience, right, when he graduates. And you know what? If as a hiring manager, I was a head of data for this company called Blend Labs, and they went to IPO. Right now, if you go to Wells Fargo, apply for a mortgage, that whole interface was provided by Blend Labs. And if you wanted me to choose between Rohan and the 22-year-old graduate from MIT or Stanford, 4.0 GPA, recommendation, right, from professors, you wanted me to choose between the two.
I want to take the kid with 7 years experience.
I would take the kid with 7 years experience. I would take Rohan. No question about it. Zero hesitation. Zero hesitation. Okay. So this company is called imprint.co. Okay, imprint.co. Well, folks also worked at this company called Notable Health. So this company, they use AI to automate administrative works for hospitals, for networks. They deploy to thousands of hospitals. The last round of financing is $100 million, Series B financing. Okay. So we have students there working on their AI model to detect different software, to understand software so that they can do automation without replacing the school, without placing the software at the hospitals. I want you to think about become Alex, Z, Sri, Bernice, and Ferris we have here today, actually. You guys have already used our software to register a course. This project, we call it HIPAA 2. It was entirely designed, architected, engineered by our students who are 14 to 20-year-old. I have to keep on changing the age because they're growing up, you know. It used to be like 13 to 19, that was more impressive. And now it's like 14 to 20, okay? But in any case, this software has brought in or processed about $1.5 million. So this is the last summer. They're standing in front of the board to drawing out, different diagram to think about it. So Alex Z was the front end architect. Sri was the product manager. Bernice was the designer for it. And we have Ferris here today. So Ferris, can you talk about what you did for this product here and who you are and your experience with AI Camp?
Yeah, for sure. So I started off just like the majority of you here. Went through the program, the 3-week summer camp. Let me tell you, my experience was, it was mixed, right? I came in knowing absolutely nothing, right? And my performance in the 3-week summer camp wasn't that good, right? I didn't know code, I didn't do anything. I was still learning. I was outclassed by people who were better than me. But you know, I didn't stop. I kept going. So I stayed involved at iCamp. I kept on learning, and eventually I got pulled back into iCamp. I found my way back in, just because I maintained that bond with them, right? And I got hired by iCamp after showing them determination and showing them how much I've improved. And I served as an instructor for last year's incubator program. So me and my team, we built this app right here, the one that you're looking at. We called it Brainstormer. And it was essentially meant to streamline like AI Camp scholarship processes, right? Generally, like the whole process took a lot of man hours, and small startup, we don't have that many hours. So we worked with AI, we worked with tools like Postgres, SQL, all sorts of tools, right? And we put this entire thing together in 10 weeks. That's it, 10 weeks. And it took care of the entire pipeline for a couple thousands of students and freed up hundreds of man hours, really. So yeah, with this significant impact, right? I was able to put this on my resume and all sorts of stuff. And I actually managed to transfer into Georgia Tech for computer engineering, which is like right under MIT and Harvard. So that's pretty good considering I got denied from like 12 out of 15 of my colleges, my first application round. Yeah, that's my experience with the incubator.
Thank you for sharing your experience, Ferris. Can we give Ferris a round of applause? Thank you for doing this for AI Camp. By the way, like this is not that long ago. I was just like looking at our students, scholarship application, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's just like so many good applications here. And I wish, for example, at a time to send each one of our students like individualized kind of response, right? Encourage them to participate in AI Camp. And I was like, okay, maybe I should hire some people. Maybe I should spend like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, hire a team to do that. And this application here, actually a lot of it was using AI to automate this, meaning that whatever you wrote in the scholarship application, based on the context, we can write something very personalized for you. And you can see here, this is basically like when you review one, question at a time, and you can send it, right? But what we found after reviewing thousands of applications, oh my goodness, we did not have to go into the applications and make one word of change for any of the letters. Okay, so why are we talking about this? The reason why I'm talking about this is I hope you realize how important AI is right now for our future. I'm not saying this because our name has AI in it. I'm saying it because I genuinely think this is what's going to happen in our future. Doesn't matter whether you are in robotics club, you're doing biology, you're doing mechanical engineering, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a doctor. I think AI is here to stay. AI is here to stay. So thank you again, Ferris, for sharing your experience, but I want to highlight that. So the guided internship program, what does that mean? Well, first of all, this is really about industrial standard in doing work. You will learn, for example, production machine learning best practices, design best practices, large language model best practices, how to build ChatGPT-like applications, right? These are the hard skills that we're talking about, the best practices in different domains, industrial level. The second thing here, which I think is even more important, are the softer skills that we need to have when you go and work in a company. Do you guys realize at AI Camp, for example, when you're creating this project, was it fun to create with a team of people? Was it fun to do that? Yeah. Okay. Was it also frustrating to work with a group of people? Was it frustrating? Yeah. Also the same thing. Was it easy to work with a group of people? Never easy, right? Never easy. It was hard. It was hard. But you think about this. When you are at a school, you get a grades, right? A, B, C, and F, that kind of stuff, right? Most of the time, those are individual kind of assignments. Is that right? Most of the time, individual assignments. Now, I want you to turn around and ask your parent, do you get grades in your job, in your workplaces? You probably don't, right? Is the work done by one person? There's no freaking way. It's going to be collaborative, right? And people say like, what? You don't quit jobs, you quit bosses. Do you remember that? That's basically saying how important it is to be able to work with people. So when you think about the Guided Internship program, you're going to work with your mentor. You're going to work with 5 other students. You're going to work with the company executives. You really need to figure out how to learn, how to communicate, how to deal with the ambiguity, how to be proactive. Those are the things that are really, really valuable. And I hope you don't learn that in your 30s. I hope you learn that in your teenagers, and so that you can form those habits. Really important, okay? Am I preaching too much, or this is fine? Are you guys still being entertained? Is that fine? Yes or no?
You're great. You're great.
I'm great. Okay, thank you for doing that. Thank you, Brendan. Brendan, did you invite your parents to talk to me this morning?
Yup, they just talked to you like 20 minutes ago.
And thank you for doing that. Okay, so this Guided Internship program, right? It's a 10-week-long mentor-led sprint, right, to enhance your professional skills. We're going to build cutting-edge AI products. We're going to collaborate. We're going to lead, lend to paid internships. Okay. So what are the projects we're talking about? Hold on, my son is calling mama right now. I don't know what's going on. 1 second. I think he's gonna be okay. All right. I felt like sometimes I'm not being a good dad. I'm like talking to a lot more kids, and I'm not talking to my own son. So that's kind of bad. All right. So I hope that you would use this chance to build inevitable portfolio by working with real company projects. These are very, very rare opportunities, right? And the kind of company projects we're talking about, for example, this person here, he's one of the most famous executive coach in the company. I mean, in the whole world, right? He's basically teaching executives at Fortune 500 companies about leadership, about organization and communication, skills. But he, by himself, there's a limited bandwidth, right? We only have limited hours in the day. But what if we can use AI to extend Keith and making available to every single question, utilizing, of course, artificial intelligence? It's almost you have a ChatGPT that can read everything about what Keith has ever said. Isn't that amazing? Right? So those are using the most advanced large language model architecture. We're going to use Pinecone, right? We're going to use all these vector databases. We're going to use basically ChatGPT and these API for comprehension, right? And also, show of hand, how many of you want to become a YouTuber or TikTok like superstar? And how many of you want to do that? Raise your hand if you want to do that. No, you can't. You carry. You don't want to do that. Okay. Well, we have some students who want to do that. So here's the thing. We have so many influencers. These are, having, for example, millions of subscribers. They have trouble with data. They have trouble with content. They have trouble with operation. How can we use artificial intelligence and engineering to save their time, right? So that's something we need to do for these influencers. But all in all, right, good luck in finding a company that would trust a teenager to do this. The only reason they trust us is because we just show them the work we have done before. We just show them what Rohan has done before, what Jackson has done before. And they'll be like, okay, maybe we can do this. And we think by taking our best students, by you working with our best instructors, by putting you into this challenging format, you will be able to accomplish something amazing and be able to build these inevitable portfolio. Who's ready to start? Anyone who's ready to start? Raise your hand if you are. All right, Christina, great. Awesome. Jackson, awesome. Okay. All right, sounds like our conversation is done. We don't need to talk more, right? Do we need to talk more? Okay, I have 3 more slides. Okay, bear with me. All right, so if you think our instructors are great, right, that's awesome. And I wanted to tell you that you will continue to access to our instructors throughout this period of time. But more importantly, when we're working with companies, you will have access such as VP of data science for different startups. So we have quite a few mentors reserved that they're going to come and solve for all these very challenging questions for you. You have me as well. You have Kevin, okay? You have, for example, company executives such as Lou, who's managing director at a Fusion Fund. You're going to have to understand, for example, what they do as a venture capital so that you build tools for them, right? And best of all, you have our best instructors, only the best instructors for this program, okay? And if you're doing well, what you should do is ask for a recommendation from them. And there are stories to be told, right? And if you get a, for example, maybe a recommendation, maybe you can get a Stanford internship later on. And that really happened. Okay. I don't know how I can persuade you more that this is going to be a great program. But we have Samuel here. Samuel, you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey.
Can you talk about your experience with AI Camp? Can you talk about your experience with Princeton? Can you talk about how AI Camp maybe contributed to your journey so far?
Yeah, definitely. So I did AI Camp's 3-week program last year. And then I got offered a spot on the incubator, which obviously now we're calling the Guided Internship, but basically same thing, right? So when I was doing the incubator, basically I worked on this project called Inkskill, which is creating a website to teach people who are blind through different more accessible methods, such as like screen reader or potentially like changing like colors for colorblind users to make it so that people who are blind or colorblind could use these tools to learn more about computer science. So that was kind of my incubator topic that we did. And so basically I was able to use that experience. I wrote about that on nearly all of my college essays, and I wrote about did like 13 different schools. Princeton was my first choice though, and so but I was able to use my experience in AI Camp in my Princeton essay to get in. And now right now I'm working as an instructor. So I don't know if any of my students are here, but if you are, yeah, so
how was
anyway,
how was your teaching this summer?
Teaching was really good. It was really awesome being able to see people who either hadn't had any Python experience or had very little, kind of going all the way from not knowing basically any coding whatsoever to learning about Python, and then learning what a data set is, and learning like how you use a data set to create a model, and then creating a website from that, and all within 3 weeks. It seems insane, like if you've never like done the program before, but it really is just like so fast paced, and I feel like they learned so much, and I'm really glad I was able to help them through that. So, but like AI Camp has set me up really well for the future, and now I have nearly a full year's experience after working on Hippo, after Shri and Ferris did. As a product manager. So I've gotten all of this experience, and I'm just heading into college rather, right? And so by the time I'm done with college, I'll have nearly 5 years of experience doing software development or product management or any of these other different skills that I'm learning while at my time here, right? So this is really an amazing opportunity, not only to kind of like make new friends and have a nice community, but also to learn a lot and to really set yourself up well for the future.
Okay, can we give Samuel and Ferris a round of applause? I want to say the following, fellows, that is, without you guys, there is no AI Camp. There's simply no way I can. Like, our team tomorrow members, be able to create the website, help us with everything that we got so far. Really appreciate you to build our community to the state it is today. So thank you very much for that. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Ferris. Okay. We got this question a lot. So I try to design, this slide to answer your questions. I think right now, pretty much like, people would be like, okay, sounds like the benefits are great, but can we actually do it, right? So this session right now, we're only doing it during the fall, right? Which is from September 11th for about 10 weeks. You need to be able to meet with a team for a demo. So in a software development company, actually in any innovative company, they would do this weekly kind of sprint, which is basically you would do a planning. You talk about, what you have accomplished. You envision what you wanted to achieve, in the next week or so, right? And that's what we call sprint planning. And you should do that Saturday morning from 10 to 12. You can choose that either East or PST. You don't need the whole 2 hours. You just need 30 minutes in that period of time. Okay, either PST or EST. So sprint planning, 30 minutes. The same thing for demos, you need 30 minutes as well. So that's essentially you come and present what you have done, reflecting what you have done, talk about, hey, what are the adjustments I need to have, right? And that's also when you're going to meet with the company executives. Okay. Outside those meetings, you're going to probably spend an hour a day, right, working on these things. I strongly encourage you not participate in the program if you cannot make the time. I also strongly encourage you, if you have the opportunity to participate in this program, allocate time for this program. I don't think, for example, there's any guided internship anywhere else like this. And I hope our students, our instructors, our past team members speak volume in things that we care about, the quality we stand. Okay, let me pause it here. Any questions regarding time?
Yeah, just real quick. So from 4:30 to 6, so that means there's different sessions, and any 30-minute session throughout 4:30 to 6, I'd be able to join.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Where are there 7 hours? I mean, it's a 7 hour per week. So it's pretty much like 1 hour per day. So you need to do the work. Yeah. Yeah. And this is not going to be very similar to our 3 week. The 3 weeks, what? It's like we guide you, we handheld you, right? Do we do that? We do a little bit, but it's going to be less and less of that. Okay, less and less that. You're actually going to start learning on your own, learning with your peer, figuring out how to do this. You have mentors available. You can ask questions. Mentor can guide you. Company executives can say, this is great, but, and they're going to tell you what they need. Or they're going to be like outrageous to say, this is really bad. And you need to figure out how to, reborn from the ashes, so to speak. Any other questions? No questions regarding timing? That's awesome. That's awesome.
No.
All right. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
That, just to clarify, that's 4:30 to 6 p.m., right?
Yeah, p.m.
Okay, so is it like also an AI camp where the EST and PST groups are separated, or is it just—
They're separated.
So there'll be an EST group and there'll be a PST group, essentially, is what you're saying. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
And then you just choose which one is easier for you to make.
That's right.
And then Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. to 12 noon.
Yep.
Okay.
I blame Blake, who edited my slides. Anyway,
so just one more thing is like the whole 7 hours per week time commitment. It's like you're just thinking it's like an hour a day, do something, whatever it might be.
Yep.
But
that's right.
I'm not sure I caught this. What date does it start? Like the days, say it's 10 weeks, but what date does it start?
Starting from September 11th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Eucario, can we give Eucario a round of applause? Thank you for asking those clarifying questions. You made the whole thing better. Okay. Okay, the benefits. The benefits. Can I read the benefits for you? Is that okay? Can I read it? Okay. First of all, the power of real-world impact, right? With this unit program, you will gain hands-on experience, goes way beyond your textbook. You'll make tangible impact on real businesses and the world at large. The mentorship from industry leaders, right? You're basically engaging with people who have years experiences. They can guide you to shape your journey. And you know what? You can ask them about skills. You can ask them about their journey, right? And hopefully they're going to fuel your passion, right? To do the things you need to do. Unleash your entrepreneurship skills or spirits, because when you think about it, business is going to tell you a problem that they need to solve. It's up to you to figure out what's the best way to use the least amount of resources and time to solve them. Get exceptional college application, because they're looking for the admission officers. They're looking for students who can stand out. When you are working with real companies, you can demonstrate your maturity, your determination, your commitment, your ingenuity to make a difference. Build an inevitable portfolio. You participate in real company projects that are inspiring, right? And you can talk about all the difficulties that you encountered, right? Things that you solve along the way. Those are going to be very interesting stories. And on top of it, if you do well, right, these company executives, me, and people who are helping you can give recommendations for you. Forge lifelong connections. We're the average of 5 people around us. If you are in this community, you have so many good people with you, you become one of them. Empower yourself for future success. When you think about it, AI is here to stay. That's genuinely my opinion, and also I think top professionals' opinion. The skills and career path you learn here, I definitely think that's going to open doors for you. Okay, if you rate me on this speech from 10 to 1, how much you would rate me? Okay, 10 to 1. Can you please write in the chat 10 to 1? I'll tell you why I need you to rate me, okay? You liked it? Yeah. Okay, can I share my screen? Again, and you guys promise me don't judge me. Is that okay? Promise me you don't judge me. I'm here to demo a point. What I just read was from AI. Almost every single thing. I just said, hey, give me some good question. Wait, not this one. Make this more enticing. Real company projects that make your college application stand out. And it gave me all these things. I just read it back to you. That's all I did. That's all I did. If you don't believe AI will change the world, believe the fact that you give me 10 out of 10. And maybe the next time you encounter something you can't even distinguish. Okay. All right. So at least this conversation is not boring. You can judge me, okay? But at least this conversation is not boring. I know I took a lot of risk here. Maybe sometimes too much. Kevin's going to talk to me afterwards, so this is going to be bad. All right. Okay. So how do we join, right? How do we join? Very simple. Go to ai-camp.org/GI. The earlier you join, the better chance you're going to be in. You will be able to choose a project, right, that you will like. Okay. We're going to open for you guys for about a week. Okay. Is it expensive? I really don't think so. I think this is like a no-brainer kind of price, $388 for 4 months, starting September 11th, 7 to 10 hours a week. Okay. If you have questions, email at hello@ai-camp.org. Okay. And I'm here to stay to answer any of your questions, right? But let me send you the link. Per month for 4 months. Yeah. So the whole thing is about $1,550. Okay. We're not using Hippo for this one, Samuel. The reason for that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing. Actually, I'm just gonna keep the thing here. Do you have questions? If you have questions, let me know. Mason, do you have a question?
Yes. I was wondering if for some reason that like because of some kind of a school thing or because of some kind of unexpected thing, what is the latest that you can cancel?
You can cancel before September 11th.
September, so essentially right before it starts.
That's right.
So like literally, so you can cancel. You can't cancel later than 1 day before, and you'll get a full refund.
That's right.
Okay.
We're gonna have people in the waiting list, so don't worry. Yeah, you'll be okay.
So okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Mela, you have a question?
Yes. So I had a question about like registering. When's the due date to register, and is it going to be an application, like, or are our instructors going to recommend us, anything like that?
No, you don't need an application. You can just go to that webpage and do it. Yeah. Your recommendation from your instructors will determine what kind of projects you will get. Yeah.
And when will the due date to register be?
You have about a week. So, basically from today all the way till next Saturday. Santosh, do you have all promo codes? There are no promo codes for this one. Anyone who's excited doing this? Are you excited doing this? Yeah? Are you excited doing this? Yes? Okay. Okay. All right. Do you have more questions? Otherwise, like, I'm just going to stop sharing. It sounds like we have already answered almost all the questions. Lower your hand if you have no more questions. You have no more questions. Okay. Yuma, you have a question?
Hey, Michael. So question. So for now on the register, it just says batch A or batch B, just the PST, EST. So what you're saying is after that, you can pick which projects once you register for just that batch, correct? And then there'll be more details.
Yeah. So we just need you. Actually, I'm going to get rid of that PST, EST thing because what we need to do is actually do a survey, to find out your preferences, what or not, and then group you together. And we also have a lot of data, like how, what are your skill set, what are your preferences, when you're in our course. So we'll be able to group you with the right approach, with the right project.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, Tobias.
Yeah, so this project, how many people, how many students are there going to be for each project?
For each project is 6 students.
6 students.
Mm-hmm.
And
just like what we had in the summer camp.
Each will be working on a separate part of the project.
That's right. Just collaborating together for the company.
Okay. And you have 2 meetings a week. So does it matter too much if we cannot make 1 or 2 of these meetings here and there?
It matters a lot. If you are committed to a meeting, you need to be there, because just as a team, who want a teammate who doesn't really show up for planning and doesn't really demo their work, then everybody thought, oh, that's okay. We don't need to plan. We don't need to demo. Then everybody's just not gonna get anything done. So if we, for example, we're gonna say to be in the meeting, we're gonna be in the meeting. When we're gonna say, for example, these are the A, B, C, D things we're gonna do, we will do it, right? That's the company culture. That's how we run AI Camp as well.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah. In your job, can you be fired, guys? Can you be fired? Oh, absolutely. Can you be fired from the internship? oh, you bet, we'll fire you. You don't perform, we'll fire you. Yeah, and you will never get your money back. Here, I said it. Yeah. Okay, Rayan, you have a question? Dajun, you have a question?
Hi. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, but sounds like from very distant mountain or something.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just checking and it seems like you guys have a price option. Is this just to break down the price?
That's right. Just to make it easier for all the families.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. And you have no other option but just go with this. And we're gonna run the risk of like someone would just like attend the whole thing and cancel it. We know that, but that's a risk we want to take.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem. Zion, you have a question?
Yeah, I just wondering what kind of the level you require for the candidate to attend the program.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Zion. For my personally, I think he should attend this very good intern program. But I'm just worried he has enough knowledge to attend the intern program.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So what we do is that we basically gonna group students based on their levels. So if, for example, like you have doubts whether your son or your daughter would be able to accomplish this, rest assured, they're gonna actually work on this company project, right? But they may not be the group that eventually is responsible for the outcome. So meaning that, we actually have multiple teams working on the same project, right? But the mentor will basically guide the students to get there. And the other way to think about it is that when you are, for example, competing against people, you kind of gradually get to their level pretty fast, right? But if you're just like, working on your own, you don't know where you are, and that's difficult. So I wouldn't say, for example, I would guarantee your daughter, your son will be able to produce a project the company will actually pick. I cannot guarantee that. But what I can guarantee is they're going to learn a ton. And they're not going to feel like I've been dragged at the level where I'm not comfortable. Yeah.
Okay. So that means it's a good benefits for him to learn, even the company will not pick his outcome.
Absolutely. And he will see other teams, almost like maybe they're doing the same project, but they will see the other teams. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, how did you do that? Oh, how did I learn that? Right? You see, this is a positive social pressure, right? You'd be dragged along. Yeah.
Do you mind if I add something, Mike?
Oh, go ahead, Simon.
So like one of the biggest things about the incubator or the internship rather, is that a lot of it is learning outside of class and like learning on your own, right? So a lot of this camp was, hey, you have a mentor right next to you to kind of guide you through everything more directly, and you're learning everything directly from that instructor. Whereas with the internship, it's going to be more like, hey, here are the tasks we need to get done this week. You may not necessarily have all the tools that you need to complete them, but you can use Google, you can use ChatGPT. There are plenty of people who are very knowledgeable within AI Camp who you can ask. In fact, I don't remember exactly who it was, but there was 1 week I was really struggling with a problem, and I kind of just like asked in like one of the chats in AI Camp, and like, hey, does anybody know anything about this? I think it was Django, which is it's a type of program in Python. I was like, hey, can anybody help me with this problem? And one of the people from AI Camp sat down with me for 2 to 3 hours on a Zoom call and was like, okay, here's how we do this, and helped me basically set up a major part of the project I was working on. So it's a lot of both learning stuff on your own. But when your student is having trouble and like may not know something or may not be able to find something online after struggling for a few hours, there's always people who are going to be very knowledgeable and you can help them through a difficult situation.
Yeah, if I could just jump in and add on to that, Sam. Thanks for that. First of all, I think for students, if anything, they're going to get more access to people like myself, like the executive team. We're not here to just throw them into the ocean and let them sink. That's not the way it's going to work. So you're gonna have like a project manager, a team lead, and then you have the students beneath it, and that's how the structure kind of works. Does that make sense?
Mason, you have one more question?
Yes. So I had registered, but I was not able to, and I tried to log in to see it, and it wasn't there.
Log into what?
So
Log
Mason,
into
it's two different systems.
Oh.
I know you're working off of the one system for summer camp. This one's a little bit separate
Right.
to that.
So
just go through.
I created a I already purchased it. And I created a sandbox account, but this was after I purchased it because I didn't notice. And so then I had already closed the tab, and I purchased a sandbox, and then I created a sandbox account. How do I add it onto the bookings of the sandbox account?
Sorry, just to be clear, because sandbox is different than the internship.
Right. It's different than the level. It's different than the level 1, right?
Yeah, because
Level
sandbox is
1+.
like at the very beginning, right? That's just like a crash course intro to AI.
Except
and
it
this
says
is,
that it's sandbox. There's sandbox account and level 1+ customer login.
Got it. Oh, I see what you mean. I'll tell you what, Mason. Maybe if you want to ping me on Discord, I can help you offline with this. We'll get it sorted out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Good questions though. Okay. I don't want this conversation to drag on. You know, it's like 2 p.m. now. What I'm gonna do right now is that, hey, you guys, like, I hope families, you know, parents and students, you know the benefits of, you know, GI, you know the link, right? Just go to ai-camp.org/GI. You know, if you're a parent, you don't know whether your, you know, kid want to do it, you know, talk to your kid. If you are a student, you know, you want to do this, you know, talk to your parent. Okay. All right. So we are here to stay. If you have any questions, I'm here to stay. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Ferris and Samuel, you know, for all your contributions. I don't want to take more of your time. So you're welcome to leave. And guys, I'm here to answer any questions you have. You know, could it be about the summer camp? Could it be about anything? That's all good. Okay. So see you guys next time.
Thank you to all the parents as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. Yeah.
Very short plug before I dip out. At 4 p.m., we're going to be having a whole workshop camp on how to use Stable Diffusion and leverage chat models and create some cool stuff. So if anyone wants to show up to that, keep an eye out in the Discord. We'll send out a Zoom link soon, I think.
It's on the online or have to.
Yep. So it'll all be we'll send out a Zoom link in our Discord channel, and you know, anyone's free to show up.
Yeah, 4 o'clock, right? Okay.
Yep.
So, Michael, if the kids attend the internship, it's after later on they can, when they write the resume, they can take this as an official experience or just.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but make sure they do a good job, because otherwise the boss won't actually back it up.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's good reason. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is one of the most amazing experiences, you know, at AI Camp. So I hope that, you know, you guys would take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, folks.
Sometimes a 14 years old is very has a self-discipline, you know. That's why I worry about.
Yeah, you will see basically it's like, you know, when you are going together with a group of people, that's the social pressure comes in. You know, we're the average of 5 people around us, right? So, you know, if they see, for example, you know, people pulling, you know, hopefully they will pull together. But regardless, you know, like whether you're 14 or 16, you're going to find out this one way or another. You're going to face, you know, the choice about, you know, career, about working with others one way or another. And I think, you know, like we found the school in the hope that, you know, we'll get you guys like a head start. You know, this program is I would say about 13 years in the making. You know, 10 years of making mistakes, 3 years doing experiments, and finally here we are today. This program we first named the incubator, and we first actually did not charge a single cent. We wanted to, like, you know, train our students and be able to you know, have them to work for us. And then many students, they're like, maybe you should charge for this. And we're like, okay, but we don't want to make any profit. So we're like, okay, well, we calculate how much, you know, money it would take to train our students, one and not, and then we settled down the price on $747. And then we trained 110 students last year. That's the price we have. And right now I got my investor yelling me, and they were like, hey, this is providing so much value, you should charge the parents $3,000. And I was like, I'm not sure if that's going to be okay. I'm going to do a testing. So that's why we do 388, you know, times, you know, 4 right now, which is make it acceptable, you know. And in any case, you know, that was the history of the, you know, evolving the thing. Also, like, we were trying to actually get companies to work with us, and it was hard. And especially when we go and talk to technology companies, because they already have a recruiting pipeline. They know what they need, right? And it's very hard to tackle that. But then you go talk to influencers, and this is one of those, you know, Kevin described to me, is one of those like 3 o'clock in the morning kind of ideas. He was literally like so excited, 10 p.m., right? I mean, my 10 p.m., you know, which is, you know, he's like, you know, 1 a.m. or so. He's like, I got to talk to you about it. I was like, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, like, I just thought, what if, for example, we talk to influencers, kids want to be influencers, and, you know, we wanted to do marketing with influencers. What if we have our teenagers working for influencers, and then the influencers can shout out about our program? Isn't that a win-win? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. You know, and I was like, you know, in 1 month of time, Cameron was able to get, you know, influencers that adds up to about 20 million subscribers. And I was like, I think we can scale that to 2 billion. You know, so that's like how the whole thing, you know, come along.
Very ambitious.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. I definitely think we can get there. Like, you know, dude, like right now we're just marketing this to our students who graduated. Imagine we talk to all the independent education consultants and all the principals and all the superintendents.
Yeah, I mean, from my vantage point, it's really just about having this added to your resume, right? Especially at that age, I can't stress how important that is. For me, I came out of capital markets, you know, so the transition education is a pretty big leap. But I can tell you from all the years I've done hiring, the first thing I look at is experience. Graduate college, that's great. All right, let's see what you've done, right? That's what really matters. So
yeah. Okay.
So I have a
yeah, go ahead. You can.
Yes, I have a question. Yeah, so is it this internship program, is it always September till January?
This is the only
so
chance you
every
got.
year. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so the only
I'm not
4
saying
months.
it's going to be every year, right? Obviously, we'll start out. We're trying to change, right? But right now, we do not have plans for a spring session, for a summer session next year. We do not have plans on that. And the reason is that it costs a lot. It costs us almost our lives, right, to get all these, you know, opportunities together. It's not easy, and also get all the instructors, get experienced people to mentor you guys. It's not easy to get it here. Yeah.
Okay. Another question. Earlier, you mentioned once you register, you pick up a project. Then later on, you also mentioned the instructor will recommend the student for which project they should be in. So I'm kind of confused. Is it something like you pick a project or somebody else pick a project for you?
Right. Okay. So I'm sorry for being confusing. Let me reiterate it. So during this 3-week camp, instructor has already worked with you, so they can recommend the students. They can write down, if the student's strong on this part, weak on that part, whatnot. And then also we work with the companies, so we know what kind of projects they need. So based on our understanding of the student, our understanding of the project, we will assign project to you. Right? So you don't really you don't really get to choose what project you're gonna work on, but it's something we're gonna assign project to you. Yeah.
Okay, so whatever you pick may not be what you get. That's what you mean.
You don't really get to pick.
Oh, okay, got it.
Right, Mason, thank you for attending. Nikhil, you have a question?
Yeah. So you were saying that our instructors during the 3-week camp kind of report like what our strengths are. Could we like see that maybe? Or like can I see like what my instructor like said for me?
Let me talk to Blake. Maybe that's a good question. Yeah, that's
No, I can answer that question. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the things that we're going to be doing now that we're wrapping up, this batch is we're going to be reaching out and scheduling kind of like a time to speak about that. So you'll be hearing from me. We're Ferris, we're Paul, but we're going to be reaching out. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, should we look in our like email or in the Discord?
Yeah. I'm going to send an email out.
Okay.
If for some reason if you don't find it, you can always find me on Discord. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
100%. Great question, Nikhil. Great question. Okay, I don't want to keep everyone here, so I am gonna end this session now. If you have a question, reach out to us through email, through Discord. But it's such a pleasure to chat with you guys. Saturday afternoon. I wish you have a very good weekend, very good week after. Talk to you guys soon. Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michael.
Wait, who was that? Is that Rohan?
No, it was me.
Okay. Well. Okay. Well, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.